Right. I'll turn the audio down a bit. Right, time to find out what the Stanley Parable actually is. Can you guys see it okay on the stream?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hooray! Here we go.
Yep.
If I'm not
I
immediately...
can tell that my audio is pretty delayed here, so I'll be trying to keep up as much as I can.
That's fine. It's the problem with the way we've got it set up is you'll be seeing it about 3 or 4 seconds, I think, after it happens. So, apologies for the slight confusion between everyone
This is the
talking.
story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big
End is
building
never the end,
where
is
he was
never the end.
employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on the keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-winning, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation.
So do you guys actually know a Stanley?
Was very clearly wrong.
No.
Shocked,
Or, well,
frozen solid,
I don't think
Stanley
so.
found himself unable to move for the longest time.
I'm pretty sure I don't know a
Wits and
Stanley.
regained his senses.
I don't think I know a Stanley either.
And stepped out.
I've heard from people named Stanley who really enjoy playing the game because they're constantly being talked to.
Okay, so we're someone called Stanley and no one has turned up to work today.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I have a suspicion no one's going to be in the meeting room. This is a very terrifyingly empty-looking office.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Now see, now that you've said about
Yeah, it looks
you've said about
quite
disobeying
abandoned.
you've said about disobeying the voice, now it's telling me to go through the door on the left. I don't want to anymore. I want to go through the one on the right. Because you've made me want to disobey.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew
But
it.
is that what we wanted?
Perhaps he
And
wanted to
therefore
stop
are
by
you
the
not
employee lounge
disobeying?
just to admire it.
Am I playing into your plan?
Maybe they want you to disobey secretly.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all.
What was the number
To
that
spend a
they
few
said that
moments
you were?
here in this immaculate,
427.
beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here.
Is there a
thinking
door
about it.
427? Like I'm seeing all these numbers on the door.
Yeah, you left it.
That's,
Yeah,
Oh, is that what it was?
that's
Yeah.
the room we
Okay.
were in and we left.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Okay, fine. I'll go into your meeting room.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
I like that you're sort of doing the Bastion type thing of explaining what's happening as it happens, except that, you know, you're forcing me to go where you want me to anyway. Creepy.
Yet there was
confusing
not a single
people.
person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Right, okay, off to the boss's office. I'm terrified something is going to come out
Coming to a
and kill
staircase,
me soon.
Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I feel a sense that something is out to get me.
Using slides.
Stepping
Well,
into
what?
his manager's
Go
office,
look at all the,
Stanley was once
all
again
the
stunned to
boards
discover
and
not
stuff
an
that was
indication
in the
of any
room.
human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had
I love the
assigned
pictures on
an
the wall.
extra
The guy
secret
pulling
pin
up his
number,
tie.
2845. But of course,
Fits with all the
Stanley
other
couldn't
ones.
possibly have known this.
That picture is what we use for our like game icons on Steam. So every time you're playing the game, that'll pop up in your. I really like it. Like it perfect represents
Yeah,
it's exactly what the game is all about.
Stanley just
all
settled
about
down twiddling
ties.
his thumbs.
It's all about
Incredibly,
it's all about
pushing
maintaining an
buttons on the
appearance of
keypad,
professionalism.
Stanley happened to input the correct code.
Which is
by
why
hand.
we are here.
Amazing.
I
He stepped
I
into
love
the
this
newly
breaking of the
opened
fourth wall
passageway.
with the. There is no way Stanley could possibly have known that the code for the safe was for the doorway was 2845.
And he didn't. He just got it by sheer random luck.
Exactly,
I mean, like statistically improbable, but not impossible.
It was bound to happen eventually. It's just very convenient that we got it on the second
Yeah.
attempt.
Right. You know.
But I mean, there's always a chance of it happening, and you know, it's just random chance, and we can't draw any conclusions. We just got to accept that.
I'm gonna
We
guess.
happened-
I'm gonna guess now that Stan is in some way omniscient.
Stanley
He just
realized
knows
he felt a bit
everything.
peculiar.
He is a god.
It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think
Or
for
the
himself,
god.
to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
No, I would rather go through. I don't want to go into the mind control facility. I want to follow the escape road, please. I want to get out of
Although
here.
this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
At the end of this hallway, I'm going to meet my violent death, am I? I'm not going to believe you. I'm going to keep walking to the escape road.
I don't know, that's a conveniently placed escape route.
Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
No, I'm not going to let you deter me, crazy voice. I
At
want
this
to
point,
escape.
Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Yes, I'm willing to confront my death. Because I want to escape, please. Okay, what's down this hole? It's a very ominous looking hole. I'm a bit tempted to turn back now.
Told you.
Let's...
All the curtains.
I don't think am I dead? From jumping down the mysterious hole?